Our contributions to mankind. Can you name a few? Anybody here? I was going to get to that one. I was going to get to that one.
In the virtual audience, they said, how about hockey?
Corn, beans, squash, tobacco.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. That's my favorite.
Canoe? I canoe that. Buckley's.
Aspirin.
Aspirin.
Get rid of nightmares with
Dream catchers.
First aid.
First aid.
In general.
First aid, all right.
In general, yeah.
There's a paper I said earlier, a few weeks ago, that in this institution that was brought here from Halifax that I used to use when I was teaching there back in the 1980s. And it was a paper done by Dr. Claire Brandt and his sister Marlene, both psychiatrists. And it's called the 9 Ethics and Principles. They used to call them the Mi'kmaq Ethics and Principles today, but the proper name is the 9 Ethics and Principles of Indianism. And it's a really profound read for anybody. Because again, you know, there's so much involved with what they were explaining about us and the way we conduct ourselves and behave. And when I look at what's going on today about our contributions to mankind, even the words used today, moccasin, it's a mispronunciation of our word. Toboggan is another one. Mispronunciation of our words. Wigwam. You know, Nudaban is a toboggan. But today we refer to it as our vehicle to travel around in. My footwear, but they call it a moccasin today.
It's the live stream.
What?
Simultaneously watching the live stream.
Yeah. So when we look back on all these things, and as Jeff pointed out, one of the greatest contributions I've yet to see Don Cherry and Don McLean acknowledge on Hockey Night in Canada is that it's a game that was developed by us.
Without referees.
Without referees. No, the grandmothers.
The grandmothers.
You forgot about them.
Those are the toughest referees of all.
Yeah, but it was our game. And one of the first accounts of the game being played was over here in a place called St. Anne's Bay. And it goes back to the 1700s.
Later, English town.
See? St. Anne's, St. Patron. What?
Is there any way you guys can prove it? Like, is there any way you guys can like prove it to them?
That's, you're out. Danny's going to score you out now.
All right. There's a couple of books written, and if you go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, you'll find that one of the best hockey sticks that ever made and that were exclusively used in 1915 to about the 1920s was the Micmac hockey stick. So that's your assignment for next week. Yep.
There's a blog post waiting now.
But it was played with rib bones strapped to the feet of the people, and all their sticks were used, and maybe a round bone or a hide ball.
I play hockey my whole life.
Same here. And when we think about these things, and we look at those kinds of contributions, and we look at how our trained to survive in the harshest environment. We're in the subarctic, and we have, you know, really harsh weather, as you guys experience. It's cold, lots of snow. And when, you know, like the other day, somebody talked about, well, we got to move our clocks ahead. And when this old Indian was approached about what his thinking was about daylight savings, he said only the white man can cut off a top, 1 foot off the top of the blanket and sew it to the bottom, thinking it's going to be longer. Out of daylight savings.